Time to hang out with my sister girl. Ayy, sister girl on films. Ayy, sister girl on films. Ayy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Sister Girl on Films. And as you can tell by the title, guys, I am doing something that may probably ruffle some feathers. Y'all know I don't give a damn. And that is tier ranking some, because this is not an all-inclusive list, obviously. We'll be here for years, honey. Some of the most well-known, most famous, most liked, or not liked, black film. Now, this list, I found this list of movies on a couple of different posts on like Pinterest. And then I add a couple that were not on either list, which was kind of crazy to me. And I am going to rank these films. First of all, this is my opinion. Disclaimer, my opinion. I am not speaking for the entire black community. Obviously, we are not a monolith. We all do not like the same type of movies. We all have different experiences with different movies. So again, this is my personal opinion. I have to make that very clear, honey, because when you get to talking about movies, actors, and shit, people getting their feelings. I get my feelings too, but I respect other people's opinions. Now, if you don't agree with my rankings, and I'm sure you won't, then it's okay. We can have the conversation in the comment section, and I welcome all different thoughts and points of view in a respectful way. That's the key word here, respectful. So I will be ranking these movies in 6 categories, okay? So category 1, of course, would be technically S tier on other tier lists, but for me, I'm calling it certified classic. So these are the films that are classics. Like, if you have not seen them, people will threaten to take your black card. These are movies that, in my opinion, have a lot of cultural relevance. They are just great movies. Some of them are great movies. Some of them are just good, you know, but their impact, in my opinion, cannot be denied, okay? Those are our certified classics. The movies that are good are just, they're good, right? Like, they're good to watch, but they don't quite, in my opinion, make it to that S tier level of classic. You know, people might enjoy them, but if somebody says they didn't watch it, you're not gonna threaten to take their black card. You're just gonna be like, oh, okay, well, you know, I can see it. You should watch it. It's a cool movie. That type of vibe, right? Then we got Aight. That's just it. It was Aight to me, you know what I'm saying? And that could be, it's just Aight because maybe I saw it when I was younger and I thought it was good, but then I watched it again as an adult and I'm just like, it's not as great as I thought it was. Next category, overrated. That's it. I don't even know what else to tell you. Overrated. And what is an overrated movie? To me, it's a movie that people give way too much credit to and it ain't even really all that good. It's just overhyped. And to me, it's just overrated. Again, this is my opinion. Obviously, it's a no for me, dog. That means I ain't messing with it. At first, I had the category as trash, but I felt like that was too harsh. So I changed it to, it's a no for me, dog. But to me, that means I feel like the movie is trash and probably shouldn't have been made to begin with. And then the last one is never seen. I ain't never seen it. You know, there are some black films that I've never seen, or I've seen bits and pieces of it, so I'm aware of what it is, but I don't feel like I've seen it enough to be able to tier rank it, okay? So I just want to make that clear. These films are just from, I believe, like the early 90s to current time. So I didn't do, no, there's a couple from the 80s. But mostly they're all from, we'll say the 80s and up. So nothing from the 60s, 70s. So blaxploitation films are not on here. And let's go ahead and get into this tier ranking of classic black films. So now that the movies are ranked where I think they need to go, first of all, take a second and get your mind right, because I know some of y'all over there probably already typing. Shush. Let me tell you why, okay? And again, this is just my opinion, guys, okay? So let's go ahead and start with the never seen. We're gonna start from the bottom and go to the top, okay? So, I mean, I don't know what I need to explain about never seen, okay? Paid in Full. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I've never sat down just comfortably in a chair and like, let me give all my 100% laser focus to this movie. So because of that, I didn't feel comfortable putting it in any other category besides never seen, because I can't really say that I've seen it enough to decide if I liked it or not. ATL, I ain't never seen it. Listen, come here. I never seen ATL, okay? I haven't. I have not. And I thought it was hilarious that the tagline on the poster for this movie says A New American Story. What the hell does that even mean? And Stomp the Yard. Relax. I know y'all like, you ain't never seen something. No, I've never seen Stomp the Yard. Let me tell you why. When it comes to movies that are, number one, that are like heavily based on things like dance or, in this case, stepping, I find it to be very cringe. And then when there's like montages of people like slow dancing and shit, and cringe. So no thanks. Haven't seen it, don't want to see it. All right, next category. It's a no for me, dog. Okay, look. How High? Shut up. Okay, it's my opinion. I just cannot stand this movie. When How High, first of all, I'm not a smoker, so maybe I need to put that disclaimer in there. I don't smoke, but nonetheless, it's dumb. I know it's a classic, people love it, but I hate this movie. Soul Plane. I feel like it goes without saying. This movie, to me, is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to the Black community. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. The harmful stereotypes throughout the film, and I know y'all like, it's a parody. I get that. I get that. But there are other parody films that have been made that have Black people in it that don't feel the way this feels. This feels like it should have been called Shuckin' and Jivin' Airlines, because that's what it's giving me. Never should have been made. Burn it now. Drumline. Drumline fits into that same category as Stomp the Yard. It's same category, okay? Now I've seen Drumline maybe once or twice, and both times that I watched it, I just did not like it. I know it resonates with people, you know, especially if you went to HBCU, but for me, I didn't. So already you lost me there. It's a no for me, dog. I'm not a fan of Drumline. I got the hookup. Another Black film that is very stereotypical. I haven't seen I Got the Hookup in a while, but from what I remember of it, there's some very offensive things in it. And I know people will be like, well, at the time it was okay. First of all, let's be clear. Just because shit was happening during a certain time frame, that don't mean that shit was ever okay. That just means we just dealt with it and we didn't have enough damn sense to know that we shouldn't be making fun of certain people. It's not good. None of the performances are good. And it's a no for me, dog. So let's get to this overrated category. This is the one where I really am gonna ruffle y'all feathers, okay? And again, this is my opinion. Y'all can rank these movies and put wherever y'all want. First up, Hustle and Flow. Overrated. Overrated, okay? Hustle and Flow ain't that damn good. I'm sorry. Argue with your mama. I don't care. To me, Hustle and Flow ain't that damn good. Other than Taraji P, her performance was great, but she's Taraji P. And other than the song that won an Academy Award, which I love 3 6 Mafia, so in my opinion, they deserved it. But beyond that, Hustle and Flow is just not a good movie. Nothing about it feels like, I love it, this movie. Like, what are some memorable lines from that movie? Comment below, and don't Google them. Other than the songs, and I ain't talking about the songs, so I know Whoop That Trick, that's a song. So don't mention that. You know it's hard out here for a pimp. Don't mention that. What are some memorable lines from Hustle and Flow? Oh, okay. Belly. Belly. Overrated. Overrated. And I don't care how you feel about it. Let me tell you something. So everybody gets their panties in a bunch about Belly because they like, but that first opening scene is the only good thing about this damn movie. And maybe when old girl in Jamaica, the assassin, killed the one Jamaican drug lord. That's about it. It's a whole feature-length film. If you're trying to call this movie a classic based on the opening scene, but you can't admit that the rest of the movie is shit, go to hell. Respectfully. Not to mention the fact that we just kind of gloss over the fact that there was grooming and shit in here, and that DMX character was cheating on his girl with a 16-year-old. that was sucking his peen. Trash. Baby Boy. Now, Baby Boy, I had a little bit of a struggle on where to put Baby Boy, because I was like, Baby Boy is aight, and it gets played on BET 24/7, okay? But it's overrated. There's nothing special about Baby Boy. Nothing. Other than the fact that it gets kind of like pushed onto us to watch all the time, and that it was, you know, directed by John Singleton, rest in peace. But beyond that, ain't nothing special about Baby Boy. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't have any impact on the culture, you know, the conversation behind the name and the whole idea, like the emasculation of the black man in the community and the whole baby daddy, baby mama epidemic and all that shit. Fine, I get it. But no. In terms of John Singleton's films, in my opinion, Baby Boy is down at the bottom. It's down at the bottom. And I don't even feel like, I know at some point there, allegedly Tupac was supposed to play it or had something to do with it. I don't even think Tupac could have saved this movie. I just don't. It's not that good. And to me, it is hella overrated. Get it out of here. And this last one. I don't care. Y'all can write your dissertations in the comments. That's fine. But Love and Basketball, overrated. I almost put it in the it's a no for me, dog. But that's just my own personal opinion. But I cut y'all some slack because I know this is some of y'all faves. This movie is the worst example of black love. Okay? And the reason why to me it's overrated is because it gets exalted as this hugely black loved influenced film. No, it's not. No. Quincy was trash the whole damn movie. And then at the end, the whole let's play for your love, Quincy had a whole fiance. A whole ass fiance. So then what? Did you just tell your fiance I'm back with my high school sweetheart because we played basketball and I won but then I forgave her and we back together? Overrated. Y'all can have it. Y'all can keep it. All right, so the Aight category. Now, Menace to Society, hear me out, y'all. Hear me out. I was going to put it as a certified classic, but then I had to be true to myself. Let me tell you why. For me, I get it in the entirety of our community and within our culture, our black American culture, Menace to Society is technically a hood classic. I get that. Other than Lorenz Tate as O-Dog, the performances aren't really memorable. Again, this is one of those movies where, I mean, like, give me a line from Menace to Society. Besides, now you know you done fucked up, right? You know you done fucked up. Okay, what else y'all got? That's what I thought. Give me some quotables. If you can't give me a quotable from the movie, I don't see how we can keep calling this a certified classic. That's just my opinion. Jason's lyric. Okay. This is another one I kind of went back and forth with because I started to put it in the good category, but this is another one. I'm not going back to rewatch Jason's lyric. I'm not. It's just such a sad movie. Oh my God, the drunk brother, the mama being terrorized by Mad Dog, the daddy. It's too much trauma, too much damn trauma. I can't get with it, you know. If I see Jason's lyric is on TV, but then I also see Leprechaun in Space is on TV, I'm probably gonna watch Leprechaun in Space, okay? It's the rewatchability is not there for me. So for me, Jason's lyric, it's aight. And this Christmas, the reason why I'm putting this Christmas in It's Aight is because we don't have a ton of black Christmas films, but it's not memorable for me. And it's not one of those movies where I'm like, it's Christmas time. Let me watch this Christmas. It's not my go-to. Now we are moving up to the big dogs, honey. The good category. So first up is New Jack City. Now hear me out. Again, this probably could have been a classic. But for me, I don't go back to watch New Jack City. But the reason why it didn't get ranked lower is because the performances are good. The performances are good. I do enjoy the story that's told. I feel like it's an engaging movie. You know, the talking about the crack epidemic and how it destroyed the hood, and am I my brother's keeper? You know, it has its moments in it. You know, not enough for it to be a classic for me. Above the Rim, not a classic. Not, in my opinion, not a classic. Is it good? Yes. Is it entertaining? Yes. Is it a classic? No. Name me one line from the movie. Exactly. Now this next one, I even kind of debated within myself. Do the Right Thing. So I know it talks a lot about race and police brutality and all these things, and that makes it a good movie because it has great performances in it, directed by Spike Lee, written by Spike Lee, a lot of, you know, well-known black actors in it. You know how Spike Lee loves to do who's who of Hollywood, Black Hollywood, he's gonna put them in his movies. So I can't ignore that. However, the rewatchability, it's just not there for me. It's a very heavy film. Go up to a room of 20 black people. Have you seen Do the Right Thing? I don't think 20 out of 20 gonna say yeah. And if you don't say yeah, I don't think they're gonna be like, oh, take his black card. That ain't gonna happen. People gonna be like, oh, you know, it's pretty good. And they're gonna leave it at that. So for me, Do the Right Thing is a good movie. It's a great movie even, but not a classic. It's just not. Dead Presidents. Dead Presidents, again, a great movie. Performances across the board. Performances are top tier, okay? But because of the gritty nature of it, I don't think it's one of those movies that people really go back to watch. I don't really hear people putting this as like their favorite movie or anything like that. And that doesn't mean it's not a good movie, because it's good. It even be great. But it doesn't quite carry over, in my opinion, to being a classic. I'm saying it's a great film though. Now The Wood. Again, this is one of those ones that I kind of went back and forth about, because The Wood is a great ass movie. I love a coming of age type of movie. The performances were great. It's hilarious. It's a feel good movie. There are so many things to love about The Wood, but to me, it doesn't have enough of a significant cultural impact that I can say it's a classic. I just don't. I can't think of one. I was trying to think of one scene that I'm like, yeah, black people love this part of The Wood. No. Crooklyn. Now, Crooklyn is a feel-good movie. You know, it has some dramatic elements in it. It's a great movie. It's heartwarming. Not a classic. Not a classic. What is the cultural significance of it? Like, is it universally loved within the community? Could you go up to 10 black people and say, have you seen Crooklyn? And will 10 out of 10 say yes? I don't think they would. I don't think they would. I just don't. But it is a good movie. I don't think it really goes quite into the certified classic category for me. Dope. Dope is a good ass movie. Dope is a good time. It is another coming of age type of film, and I just don't think that it has maybe been around long enough to become a certified classic. I don't think that it has a cultural relevancy enough to be a certified classic. So for me, Dope, but it's a good movie though. It's very good, just not a classic. Girls Trip, a good movie. It's a good movie. It was a good time. It was great to see four beautiful black women leading in a film about friendship and having a fun time at Essence Fest. The fact that it was set during Essence Fest, which is a huge event in our culture, I think for that alone, you know, could put it in a certified classic, but I think it misses the mark because, you know, it can't really be a certified classic, but then our black men ain't really like, Girls Trip is my shit. I don't ever hear that. So I feel like if one subset of our culture is like, I mean, I ain't never really seen it, or it's alright, but then the women are like, I love it. To me, that automatically disqualifies it from being a classic. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. Baps. Baps is another one that I kind of struggle with because it's influential in its own way. But I feel like if I was making this list around the time when Baps came out, then I probably would have felt like, oh, this is a classic, blah, blah. But, you know, now that it had aged a little bit, I don't know that Baps is a classic. Like, I don't rush to go back and watch it. I could not name one relevant scene in it. I think that it's great to kind of highlight the beauty of creativity when it comes to Black women in their hair. I love that for this movie. But beyond that, I don't feel like it goes over into being a classic. It just doesn't. And I love Halle Berry. I'm a Halle Berry fangirl, but I can be honest and say this ain't a classic. The Photograph. Now this is my own personal entry into this because it wasn't on any list. Now I went to see The Photograph because I feel like when this movie came out, there had not been a whole lot of like Black love films that had came out in a long time. And so I feel like this one was a good reemergence of the genre in the Black community. But there was just something about it that didn't quite have that je ne sais quoi that, you know, some of the love stories that we have that I do feel like our certified classics had. It's just a little something that's missing from it, and it could have been a classic, but I think it may have been the chemistry between Lakeith Stanfield and Issa Rae that did it for me. I don't know, but it was just missing something. It's a good movie though, and I feel like it's worth the watch, and when it comes on, you know, I would check it out, but it missed the mark to be a classic. Boomerang. Now this is another one that I kind of struggle with. We just recently watched it on Retro Rewatch, and it was a great time. Great. But I hadn't seen it in a very long time. Very long time. I don't hear people quoting nothing from this movie. The performances were great, especially John Witherspoon. You got to coordinate. You know, that's a great moment, you know, in the movie. But I think overall, it's a great movie. And I think Black folks love it. But when you think about some of the other films that Eddie Murphy were in that are classics, compare them. Boomerang doesn't just, it don't quite, just don't make the cut for me. Brown Sugar. Brown Sugar is a great romantic comedy. I love Brown Sugar. It's a great movie. Not quite a classic though. I don't feel like it's one of those again where people are just like, Brown Sugar is one of my favorite movies, and you know, I really resonated with it. I don't think that's what happens with it. I think that might have been what they were going for, but for me, they didn't quite make it to being a classic. It's a great movie though. It definitely is that B tier, not quite A. Okay. Two can play that game. Again, fun time, great movie. To have a conversation about, you know, dating, and especially in your 20s. And overall, it's a relevant topic. But I don't think Two Can Play That Game is like a cultural favorite. I just don't. To me, it's not a classic. Again, I hadn't seen it in a very long time. And it has been streamable. I could have watched it. I just chose not to because I'm like, it's good, you know, but it's not a go-to for me. I'm not running to watch it all the time. New Jersey Drive. Now this movie here, this movie is a great movie. New Jersey Drive is a great movie, and the only reason why I didn't make it to the certified classic category for me is because it's one of those sleepy classics. People don't really know about New Jersey Drive like that. And it's one of those movies where if you happen to meet somebody that has seen it, you get excited. That's how few people have seen New Jersey Drive. And so because of that, I can't put it as a classic. Like, no, I can't. But if you've never seen New Jersey Drive, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It is an amazing movie. And y'all gonna be tripping on this one, honey. The Blackening. This is what even became the catalyst for me even to decide to make this list. Because after seeing The Blackening, I said in my review that I could see The Blackening becoming a Black classic because it's so funny, because it is entertaining, because of the cultural references that are made in it. The Blackening is an amazing movie. It is a great time. I feel like, let me let it sizzle for a little bit, And if I were to come back and probably do this video in 2, 3, even 5 years, it will probably be easily in a certified classic. I think that people will be quoting this movie. Once people get to see it enough, there will be plenty of quotables, memorable moments, all the things. So, but for right now, The Blackening, it's good. It's a good movie. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. So, certified classics. Now, I'm not going to go by each one of these. I feel like there's no need for me to go into deep explanation as to why these, for me, are certified classics. Boys in the Hood. God damn it, I have a shirt on, okay? The cultural relevance goes without saying. Set It Off. Again, do I need to explain why Set It Off is a classic? I'm in a bind, Nate. You know what that means. You know where that's from. If I say, girl, why she got on them Set It Off braids? That can mean one or two things. That either means she got some box braids and a bob, or she got some cornrows to the back. But you know what I mean. I need that money. Y'all know where that's from. Anyway, moving on. Friday. Okay. Juice. Juice. Yes. It is a classic. I don't care. Y'all can debate me. Juice is a classic. Juice is one of the only psychological thriller set in the hood. That's exactly what Juice is. Spoiler alert. Bishop killed everybody. Almost everybody. Tried to kill everybody. Like, Tupac's performance in this, amazing. Like, Juice is one of those, like, you gotta watch Juice. If somebody says they haven't watched Juice, you're looking at them like, you ain't seen Juice. It's a fire-ass movie. Easily classic. Poetic Justice. Y'all can argue me down, honey, about Poetic Justice. Kendrick Lamar got a whole song called Poetic Justice. When girls are getting box braids styled a certain way, those are called Poetic Justice braids. Like, we're not about to sit up here and play the game like Poetic Justice is not a classic. House Party. Soul Food. Come on now, because y'all know Soul Food is getting played at Thanksgiving. It's getting played probably at Christmas. Big Mama, your arm. Go ahead. Bye. I'm not fooling with y'all. Fuck the family. The family fucked my husband. Cousin Faith. Everybody know who Cousin Faith is. Anyway, we moving on. Y'all know Soul Food is a classic. Best Man. The Best Man. Had a whole TV mini-series, okay? The Best Man is clearly a classic. I'm not even about to go with y'all. School Days. Listen to me. The relevancy in School Days and the idea of colorism in the Black community is still relevant today. Argue me down if you want to. The wannabes and the jigaboos. Okay, come on now. I wanna know, is it worth it? Come on. Trying to get this way. Classic. Don't play. Waiting to Excel. Now again, this is an exception to my rule earlier with me putting Girls Trip as good, because the men and the women don't necessarily agree with this one. But here's why. Here's why Waiting to Excel does not apply in that case. First of all, everybody knows the scene with Troy showing up to Robin. I don't even have to put these people on the screen. I can just tell you what happened. Everybody knows the scene when Troy showed up to Robin's apartment to pick her up late for the pool party to go meet his son, and she ain't know he was talking about meeting. He was lying. And he threw some oranges at her and called her a raggedy bitch in his leather wearing in the summertime suit. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. There's no reason. Bernie setting that car on fire. The soundtrack by itself, honey. But it's not even up for debate. Love Jones. Get Out. Now look, listen, Linda. Listen. If you try to sit up here and tell me Get Out is not a classic, but in the same breath you told somebody they was in a sunken place, stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. Jordan Peele put his foot in this movie, okay? The Players Club. I don't need to explain nothing. Harlem Nights. Do I need to explain? Oh, so now you want to shoot me in my pinky toe. Do I really gotta explain Harlem Nights? Harlem Nights, obviously, is a classic, okay? Life. And let's go ahead and just wrap up this Eddie Murphy trifecta. Coming to America. Act like it's not a classic. Please do. Now, this next one, I struggle with, okay? Thin line between love and hate. It almost didn't make it to this category for me, y'all. It almost didn't make it into a certified classic. Here's why. Because there's no quotable lines in it. There's nothing that's like extraordinarily special. I don't feel like it has a whole lot of cultural impact. But here's where, to me, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate kind of becomes a classic, is the debate that it sparks between people with who is the actual villain in this movie. You could have a whole podcast, okay, episode within our community about, and you wouldn't even have to say the movie. You would just have to say, who's the villain? Darnell or Brandy? And you could have a whole hour conversation with somebody. And so for that fact alone, you're not getting that with New Jack City. You're not getting that with Boomerang. You're not getting that with Men's Society. You're not getting that with Belly. You're not getting that with How High. You're not getting that with ATL. You're not getting that with this, okay? But with Thin Line Between Love and Hate, them two names, Darnell and Brandy, people gonna know what the hell you talking about. And people gonna have something to say. Hell, I was just debating with somebody the other day in the comments about this damn movie. Tales from the Hood. This movie don't get its flowers like it should. It don't. Clarence Williams III and his performance, just remarkable. Tales from the Hood is such a black classic. It's a black film, a black horror film that was done well, that didn't make a mockery, that didn't follow all these tropes, actually had something to say in terms of a social aspect, and it's relevant today. You could turn on Tales from the Hood today, and all the stories are still relevant to today, which is fucking horrifying. And speaks to how much change has not happened in the last 30 years. But Tales from the Hood, definitely a classic. The Color Purple. Now, let me say something. Even though The Color Purple, the movie, is directed by Steven Spielberg, the original content was authored by Alice Walker, a black woman. So the content is black. It fits the criteria. But this movie, now I'm going to go ahead and, this is my unpopular opinion, I don't like The Color Purple. I don't like watching it. It's too damn dramatic. Great performances. It's a great movie. I just don't like watching it. It's my own personal bias. But I'm not about to sit up here and act like it's not a classic. I'm not going to act like I can't say the whole "you told Harp supposed to beat me" monologue word for word. I'm not going to act like if somebody do this to me, I'm not going to know they try to put a curse on me and tell me to till I do right by them. I'm not going to pretend like I don't know what this is. You and me will never part. I'm not going to act like I don't know. Okay? Color Purple is obviously a classic in the community. The 5 Heartbeats. Now, the fact that I pulled up 2 separate lists that said, have you seen these black films? And the 5 Heartbeats was not on either of those lists is a travesty. The 5 Heartbeats is such a black classic. So much so that there are people in our community that think the 5 Heartbeats was the actual group. They were written based on the Dales and the Temptations, both groups, okay? So, yeah, my favorite scene, there's so many good scenes in this, but my favorite scene is when Big Red showed up to the funeral and got the taste left out his mouth and put them glasses back on. Child, I can't. This next one, y'all, I almost didn't even add it on the list at all. Black Panther. I know it's Marvel. I know it. But it's an all-black cast. Ryan Coogler is a brother. You know, he directed it. and it's black as hell. And you cannot ignore the relevancy of Black Panther in our community. You just can't. You could try, but you just can't. When Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, when he passed away, and all the little black babies were having little funerals for their little Black Panther action figure. I don't feel like there's anything else that needs to be said. You can't talk bad about Black Panther. You can't talk bad about the movie. If you do, people gonna cuss you out. I enjoy it. I saw it 4 times at the theaters. Okay, probably overkill, yeah, but that's my business. And yeah, I don't feel like it's up for debate. You could debate me, you'd be wrong. But Black Panther is a classic. And to round out our 50 films, yes, I've covered 50 films. The Last Dragon. I dare you to say this is not a black classic. Now, you might not like the movie. I love it, but you might not like it. But you're not gonna act like it's not a classic. Child, Show Enough by himself could have had a whole movie. Show Enough, like everybody knows who Show Enough is. Everybody know who Bruce Leroy is. Like, definitely a classic. Matter of fact, The Last Dragon is so much a hood classic that when there were rumors of them remaking it, people were in an uproar and said, you better the hell not. That's how much high regard we put The Last Dragon in. Is that you bet not touch it. And that is probably the biggest indicator of whether or not a movie is a certified classic. That if there's any talk of remaking it, people lose their damn mind. Because in order for you to be a certified black classic, there has to be some sort of connection to it. And I feel like the movies that didn't quite make this cut is because they don't really speak to us like these movies do that are certified classics. So that is my tier ranking of, and again, this is not all inclusive. As I was going through this, there's so many movies I could have added on here. There were some that I had to take off because it was going to be too long. This is already too long as it is. So y'all kindly, okay, respectfully, let me know your thoughts on this tier ranking list. So you guys let me know where you would rank these films. Where would you move things around? What would you add to the list? What are some movies that are missing that you would have loved to see on here that you feel like are black classics? And I just didn't have a chance to put them on here. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, y'all like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. And if y'all want to see a part 2 with 50 more films, y'all let me know. And let me know what movies, because that's a lot to do. And thank y'all so much for y'all support. And I'm going to see y'all next time.